California is sort of its own thing, and I'm working with them, so it's gotten to a very high level there, and we're trying to figure out how to make one person happy. I don't know if you're.
Who is the one person? I think I have an appointment with her.
It's Boxer.
Oh,
Boxer, basically, but I think it's their governor's office that needs to sign off on it. To the extent, I don't know if like this network has it's Governor Abbott in Texas needs to be hearing from people in his state that really want this to pass and understand the time sensitivity, and the same thing for Senator Enzi. So it's Cornyn and Enzi and trying to figure out. They don't care, like, they don't want to hear from me. They don't want to hear, like, no offense to any of you, but they don't want to hear from any of you because you're not constituents.
Yeah. But we have a network.
But tapping into your networks in
where is Enzi? What state?
Wyoming. So that's the problem. Is nobody has networks in Wyoming because it's like a tiny, tiny population.
I hope we do.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we've got all in every state of the nation.
Do you already have those numbers?
Yes, Enzi's the one that we've been working with. How about also pick a city? You know, Cornyn,
exactly.
For a little while.
So Texas, So Cornyn says, and he's a senator from Texas. He says that his hold is solely because the Texas governor is opposed. So when it comes to Texas, we've been like telling people to contact the governor's office.
Yes, Governor Abbott. We don't really have his number yet.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Alrighty.
But we keep hearing like from these offices. Well, we don't need child welfare advocates sent our way. Like we know where the child advocates are. We need we want people from our state telling us this is good for our state.
Okay.
Grandparents.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get a hold of the grandparents of America and have them start getting to work.
That would be great.
All right. So that's what we'll do, and then I'm gonna go ahead. And it's time sensitive, correct?
Yeah. If this doesn't, we're recessing next week. If it doesn't pass next week, it's done because the way that we paid for the bill disappears on October 1st.
Yeah. What specifically should these constituents?
We know what this. Yeah.
You say, this is a historic bill that's family centric and keeps kids safely with grandparents and family members and out of foster care. This is good for our state. If it doesn't pass next week, it doesn't pass. And, one of the things people have been asking for change, we say we can work on changes next year. We can work on things in implementation, but we won't have this opportunity again next year. So pass the bill without amendment is basically the main takeaway. Without amendment, yeah.
Just get it out, and then we'll worry about the rest later.
Yep.
But then they're probably thinking you won't really ever get back to it later.
Yeah, which is a fair concern.
How would you broker that so that you could give a little bit more of an assurance that you would get back to it? I mean, if you did a written memorandum stating that you do plan on doing
so
this.
we've sent one of those to California. We're working on one for Texas. It basically says these are the handful of things that we commit to working on next year.
Okay.
And they, to your question, exactly what you're saying. Hold you to it. Exactly what you're saying, though, is they're like, you can commit to it, but that doesn't mean it's going to get done next year. And how we respond is, nothing is certain in this world, right? I mean, if this...
Then it's about your reputation for getting back to things.
Yeah, and if this bill doesn't get done, the system, kids are way worse off next year.
Oh, yeah.
So, the status quo is not working.
No.
And we are we doing 100% of what is possible?
Never.
No. Never. But are we making a huge improvement to the system? Yes. And can we, like the way that the child welfare, the federal system has worked is every 2 years or so we do a child welfare bill. Never, I've been on the Hill 10 years, never before have we done a bill that makes such a significant investment.
That's a good one.
In what?
In families. We've done bills where we make big investments in, providing subsidies for adoption or, but this is preventing the trauma of foster care in the first place.
Right.
There has never been a bill before the Congress to do that.
How much does she talk about the trauma, or how much when you say trauma, how do you mean that personally?
So what I say is the experience. So object permanency is a concept that is really important for kids. Kids understand that when I wake up in the morning, my mom's going to be there or my grandma's going to be there. regardless of how, troubled that mom may be, kids rely on having that mom there. So there is some trauma that kids experience from neglect, certainly. I mean, I think the ACEs, we know that neglect and certainly abuse is not good for kids. But there's also significant trauma associated with waking up one day and being surrounded by strangers and not knowing what happened to your mom or when you're ever going to see her again. And so the foster care system, it's a balance between what, types of trauma, right? Like certainly some kids need to enter foster care because there's no relative that can take care of them and their mom or dad is so abusive that they can't